Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today we are going to be doing a high-end eyeshadow palette tour and declutter. Probably just a little declutter because you guys know eyeshadow is my favorite thing ever and I have a lot of it and I love a lot of it and I have no regrets about that. But there are some things in here that I think that I can part with. So let's go ahead and jump into these eyeshadow palettes. So let's start with this one here on top. This is from Tarte. This is their Be a Mermaid and Make Waves palette. This is so stinking cute. So stinking cute. It's a little clamshell, really pretty shades in it. I like this palette. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm also gonna be holding on to this one right here. This is from Too Faced. This is their Life's a Festival palette. You guys, I hunted this down because I didn't buy it when it originally released and I regretted it, and so I hunted it down and I'm so happy that I have it. This one here, the Sipping Pretty palette, this is from Kylie Cosmetics. This was a free gift of purchase from Ulta. There's nothing wrong with it, but honestly, there's nothing really right with it either. It's just got some real basic shades. I have all of these eyeshadow colors over and over and over again in my collection, and I just don't need to hold on to this. This here from Tarte is one of their, this is their Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2. I'm really on the fence. I don't remember what I think of this formula, but I don't feel like I love it, to be honest. And I feel like I have tried to declutter these before. I don't know. So I have this one, which is Volume 3. And then I have a Volume 2. Both of these came from BoxyCharm. This one is a cooler toned version. I don't know. I feel like I need to create a chopping block section for ones that I'm not sure about. So I think for this one, which is Volume 3, I'm going to put this in the keep pile for now. And then the cooler tone version, Volume 2, I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Urban Decay Naked Basics. I think this is a really, really well done palette, to be honest with you. I'm sure that I have all these colors over and over and over again, but they're staple shadows. So for the moment, I'm going to go ahead and hold on to it. What are we? Oh, from Lorac. This is their Unzipped Mountain Sunset. I love this palette. It's not going to look it because I have a lot of eyeshadow. I really enjoy this palette a lot. Alright, from Tarte, this is the Dream Big palette. It looks like this. Real pretty, but honestly, I don't think that I need to keep it. Pure Festival palette. This came in a BoxyCharm. Really beautiful, very warm palette, but I don't think that I need this. Oof, Norvina, the Volume 2, or Mini Pro Pigment Palette Volume 2. If I had done this a month ago, this would have been decluttered, but it's currently in a project pan, so for the moment, we're going to hold on to it. This is from Stila. This is the Blue Realm palette. I don't know that I've used this more than once. It's really gorgeous, so I'm going to hold on to it. See what I think about the formula and everything, but it's real pretty. This is my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This just came out of a project, and I really like this palette. It's a really just staple sort of palette. Chocolate Gold palette. I think this is actually going to be a declutter. It has all of these really beautiful metallic shades in it. I have not pulled for this palette, I think, since I bought it. It is still really good quality. All of the shadows still work really well. I just don't pull for this, and I should pass it along to somebody who would get more use out of it than I currently am. Let's stay on our Too Faced tins. This is the Bon Bon palette. I think this palette is freaking adorable, so we're going to keep it. The Clover palette. Ooh, I'm so on the fence about this because it's really cute. I haven't reached for this in a really, really long time. And honestly, I feel like my niece would really, really adore this palette. She's just getting into makeup, so I think maybe I'll pass it along to her. My Pumpkin Spice palette, probably my favorite of the Too Faced palettes in this tin format. Love it. Love it, love it. I'm sorry it was limited edition, so you can't get it, but oof. Absolutely keeping that. Alright, we also have the Gingerbread Palette. I'm going to keep this one too because I do enjoy it. Look at that, look at that. And then finally we have the original Chocolate Bar Palette. I think for the moment I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this, but I'm on the fence. This one here from Laura Geller. It is called The Worms. I don't remember this palette at all. Oh, it's because it doesn't look like I've ever used it. So that's going to get decluttered. Urban Decay Party Favor palette. This is something that came out at the end of last year. It's a bunch of their Moondust shadows and it's really fun. So I'm going to hold on to that. Tarte Lit and Bloom. Total staple. Looks like this inside. Absolutely beautiful. Definitely holding on to that one. Bobbi Brown. This is the Hope Nudes edition. And I actually really like this palette quite a bit. Again, staple neutrals. I realize I'm keeping a lot of staple neutrals, but I mean, that's what I wear a ton of the time. So, all right, something that is not staple neutrals. Urban Decay Elements palette. This got a lot of kind of flack, but I really like this palette a lot. So we're definitely keeping it. Is it bulky and awkward? Absolutely. Do I really like the shades in it? Yes, I do. Also from Urban Decay, this is the Heavy Metals palette. This I want to try to cannibalize. Sorry, it's got that big old mirror in the middle, so I didn't want to pull it out for too long or too far, but I really want to figure out how to pull all of the eyeshadows out of here to get them out of the bulky package. Laura from Laura Force Beauty has done that, and she said it was incredibly difficult and dangerous, so I'm nervous, but I still want to try to do it. This from Lorac, this is the Mega Pro 4. This was my Pan That palette a few years ago. Didn't go so well, as you can see. I think this is one that I also want to depot. Yeah, I think, oh, look at my face. This is one that I also want to depot. Some of the shades in here are absolutely fabulous, and some of them are total duds. Becca Cosmetics Volcano Goddess. I actually like this palette. It got some criticism, and it was well-deserved criticism because the shades in here that are the most exciting are also kind of not the best. But the rest of the palette is still really nice. So I'm going to hold on to that one. Ooh, Violet Voss, Like a Boss. Yeah, I can hold on to this one. There we go. That's what it looks like. Definitely warm tones in here, but some other fun stuff as well. I like Violet Voss. I'm also going to be holding on to this bad boy right here. This is from KVD. This is their Saints and Sinners palette. This was their Christmas palette a few years ago. I think from a eyeshadow perspective, it's absolutely stunning. I struggle with what to do with it because it's kind of, I don't want to say haphazardly laid out, but just not in a way that for my brain makes a ton of sense. But I really like it, and I feel like it has its place in my collection. This little guy here from Bobbi Brown, super cool concept. Slides out like that, so you got 8 shadows in there. I don't need this though. So we're going to declutter it. This is actually newer to my collection. Look at that cool packaging. Ugh, Urban Decay, you kill me. This is the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette. Got it on sale. Don't ever buy Urban Decay at full price, people. Too Faced, I Want Candy. I love this palette. It is bulky and awkward, but I really love the quality of these shadows. I think the colors are really pretty. All right, Nabla Cosmetics Secret Palette. I really enjoy Nabla. If you have not checked out their eyeshadows, you probably should because they're really nice. So this is what the Secret Palette looks like. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Soiree Diaries. Probably my favorite of the Pure palettes that I've received. I struggle with Pure from their eyeshadow perspective because I feel like it's very hit and miss. This one was definitely a hit for me. However, I have all of these shades again over and over and over and over again. So I think I am sadly going to go ahead and declutter the Soiree Diaries. Pretty Vulgar. This is the Nightingale palette. It is absolutely gorgeous, but I don't think I've ever used it. Yeah, I don't think I've even swatched it or anything. So, because again, I have these shadows. I have these shadows over and over and over again. I am going to go ahead and sadly declutter this baby to somebody who can get some good use out of it. I did pick up from Rare Beauty. This is the True to Myself palette. I picked this up at the beginning of the year. It is very pretty. I hate though that this center shade, where am I? Center shade here is a pressed glitter. I hate pressed glitters so much. They are so dangerous for your eyes. What are we doing, folks? Okay. Nabla Cosmetics Side by Side palette. Gorgeous. More neutrals. Beautiful. Keeping them. They're great. Lorac. I've got the 2 and the 3. Is that what we have here? Yep. So this is the Lorac Pro 2. Cooler tones. And this is the Pro 3. Kind of warmer rosy golds. Oh, I really enjoy the mattes from Lorac, the Lorac Pro matte formula, but I am going to go ahead and pass these along. Violet Voss Holy Grail. I love this. It's beautiful. I love the warm berries in there. Just great. Ooh, I'm going to blind you and I'm really sorry. This is from Bare Minerals. Ooh, goodness. This is the Hidden Treasure palette. Really pretty, but I just don't see myself pulling for this. There is Pan in Nude Beach. That was because it was in Pan Those Eyeshadows a couple of years ago. But I just don't think that I need this palette. So I'm going to pass this one along. Lime Crime Venus XL2. I love this palette so much. This is gorgeous. This is also one of the top eyeshadow palettes in my collection. I think that this is just so beautifully done. Alright, let's move some of this in a little bit. Alright, Marc Jacobs The Wild One. This was their holiday release in like 2017 or something, so it's getting up there and old. But I absolutely adore this palette so stinking much. I think it's beautiful, and I really enjoy the formula of Marc Jacobs eyeshadows, so absolutely holding on to this. The same is true for my 7-pan Marc Jacobs palette. This is their editorial palette. Again, I just love this formula. I think it's really, really nice. I also really like this Butter London little palette that came in BoxyCharm. This is the Natural Goddess palette. So flippin' good. So flippin' good. Pat McGrath, my one large Pat McGrath palette. This one is the Mothership 5. Definitely holding on to it. I will also be holding on to both of these. These are from Natasha Denona. This one is the Sunset palette and the Lila palette. So that is what Sunset looks like. This is what Lila looks like. And while we are talking about Natasha Denona, I also have the Star palette, which I think is my favorite. And that is what she looks like in there. So definitely keeping that as well. We have from Sydney Grace, the Autumn's Rain palette. Still one of the top palettes in the entirety of my collection. Love this palette so much. Oh, so so good. And I'm also keeping my Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. Again, this is one that I coveted for so long, and when I finally was able to get my hands on it, I was beyond stoked. So this is what the color story inside looks like. So pretty, greens and purples. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, let's pull some of these in. Okay. Too Faced, this is their Natural Eyes palette. This is in old packaging. Not even their oldest packaging, but old packaging all the same. I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one. Cat Eyes is also, I think, going to be a declutter as well. All right, from KVD, we have their 10th anniversary palette. I really enjoy this palette. I think it's very, very pretty. And yeah, we're gonna keep it. Adept Cosmetics Celestial Storm. Has not gotten enough use, I'll be honest. Has not gotten enough use, but it is just such an interesting color story. And we are totally holding on to that. Ooh, Tarte. This is another one, the Make Believe in Yourself palette, that I missed when it was originally released and regretted it and hunted and hunted and hunted until I finally found it. And it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm totally keeping it. I lovingly refer to this as my origami palette. This is the Tarte Holiday palette from years ago now. I think also 2017. But this was a gift from my mommy. And for that reason, I will keep it forever. And honestly, I think it's cool. Gimmicky, sure. Do I care? Not at all. I think it's fun and I like it. Oh, okay. So Too Faced, their White Peach palette. Should not have purchased this. Everyone said it was terrible. It's pretty terrible. We're going to go ahead and declutter it. Violet Voss, Nicole Concilio. Really beautiful palette, but I think I am going to go ahead and let go of this one, even though I kept the other ones. I mean, the shimmers in here are just so stinking good. I mean, the mattes are really good too, don't get me wrong, but yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and declutter it because I don't need them all. I don't need them all. All right, we have two little 6 pans from Pat McGrath. We have the Bronze Ambition and we have the Platinum Bronze. I really enjoy both of these. We are going to keep them. We're also going to keep the Dose of Colors Katie and Desi Collab the Friendcation palette. This is such a well done palette. It really is. Very, very pretty. All right, so what do we got? We got a couple from Huda Beauty. We've got the little mini lilac pastel palette. Yeah, this has not gotten hardly any use, so I need to use it. That's what it comes down to. I need to use it. So we are going to hold on to it. We are definitely holding on to the Mauve Obsessions palette because this is absolutely gorgeous and it's no longer being made, which is a so surprising choice. My Naked palettes. Okay, we've got Naked Smokey. I should not have purchased this. I don't wear these types of colors often, but I really wanted a Naked palette, so I bought this when it released. It's the first Naked palette I ever purchased. Sadly, it is going to be decluttered. My Naked Ultraviolet. This is my most recent Naked purchase. I didn't like it. I am going to hold on to it. I'm going to try it some more and see if I can get it to work because I love the colors in it. I just am not impressed with the formula. Original Naked palette. Did I purchase this when they said that it was going to be discontinued? Yes. Do I regret it? Not really, but you know, kind of. This is a beautiful palette. It will always be a beautiful palette and I'm holding on to it. Oh, but the Naked 2. Cooler tones. I know that those are very trendy right now, but this is hella old, friends. So I think this one's actually going to get decluttered. My Nars Wanted palette. I really enjoy this palette. I think it is well done, and I like the shadows. So we're gonna hold on to it, I believe. Violet Boss Essentials. Come here. I don't think those are essential. And I also don't think I've ever used it or swatched it. This had to have come in a BoxyCharm. All right, I am going to be good. And I'm going to go ahead and declutter this because it's never been used, never been touched. It can go to a brand new home that will love it more than I have done. This is my Sydney Grace Enduring Love palette. I adore this palette so stinking much. Definitely keeping it. Divinity Cosmetics. This came in a Trend Mood box recently. It's very pretty. I don't love the pressed glitter. There we go. I don't love that at all, but the rest of the shades in here are quite pretty. Sadly, this one came shattered, so I had to repress it. But we're going to hold on to it for the moment. Kevyn Aucoin Nude Pop. I actually really like this palette. I think it's quite pretty. Too Faced, the Natural Les palette. Guys, this is such a good palette. Is it all pinky mauve neutral shades? Yup. Is that my jam? Absolutely. Keeping that one. Celestial Divinity palette from Pat McGrath. This was the Christmas release for 2020 and it's beautiful. So glad I have this. It's beautiful. Keeping it forever and forever and for always, I think. Tartelette Toasted. Ooh, I'm on the fence. Beautiful warm tones. Beautiful warm tones. Do I need this though? I have all of these warm tones already. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter. All right, let's get into my ABH palettes. Master by Mario. Keeping. Love it. Beautiful. This is the palette. This is the first ABH palette I ever purchased, and it's what made me fall in love with the formula. The Jackie Aina palette is one of my absolute favorites. I mean, it is so well done. How did this not get more hype? This is stunning. Stunning. Keeping forever. Sultry palette. Also stunning. Keeping forever. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Subculture. This breaks my heart. This really does. I purchased this on the day that it launched from the ABH website because the color story was so awesome. And because, as I mentioned with the Master by Mario palette, I was in love with the formula. This color story is just everything. Oh, I love these grungy tones. I don't like this palette. I have tried so hard to like this palette. It, for me, does not work well. The colors don't play nicely together. They actually fade off of my lids, which is something that I have not experienced with any other palette. It breaks my heart to say that I'm going to be decluttering that. And honestly, I'm going to declutter Prism for the same reason. Again, I adore the color story. I think it's outstanding. I just don't think the formula is there. Soft Glam. I do love this palette. Every time I've used this palette, I have just loved the look that I've created, and it's so effortless and simple. Keeping. And then also the Norvina palette. I do really quite like this one as well. Of the palettes that I'm keeping from ABH, it's probably my least favorite, but that's not a bad thing. It's really good. Hooded Beauty. Mercury Retrograde. I love this stinking palette so much. It is such a fun, unique color story, and I think the quality is outstanding. I really do. Pat McGrath, I have a little mini 6-pan palette, and I really love this palette a ton. I really do. It is so well done. The formula is absolutely marvelous. Keeping that. My Latte palette from Dominique Cosmetics. Again, Very well done. Very well loved. Great palette. Great palette. This is the first and only MAC eyeshadow palette I've ever purchased. This is the Aladdin collab. I was so underwhelmed and disappointed in this. It breaks my heart because everyone talks so highly about MAC and it just was underwhelming. So sadly, I am going to be decluttering that right there. Laura Geller, this is the Downtown Cools eyeshadow palette. Another one that I don't think that I've ever used. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. Even though it's got some really kind of unique-ish shades in there, it's never been used. I am going to go ahead and pass it along to somebody who can get some good use out of it since I clearly have not. My Tarteist Pro Remix. I like this palette. I know a lot of people don't. I don't care. I like it. It's also currently in a project pan. Born to Run. Born to Run. That's what she looks like. Everyone's seen her. She's all over the YouTubes. And I like her. I like her. She hasn't gotten enough use, but I like her. So we're going to keep her around. This is from Adept Cosmetics. This is my Plain Jane palette. And it is absolutely stunning. So good. So good. And then there were three. Poison Garden from Nabla. Absolutely love. Absolutely love. I think it is probably my favorite of my Nabla Cosmetics purchases. And she's beautiful. Nars Ignited. Ooh, I'm on the fence about this one. I don't know, guys. Do I keep or do I pass? You know, I'm going to, because it has been used quite a bit, I'm going to put it in sort of a chopping block, use it for a week or two, and see how I feel. And then finally, we have, what are we doing? We have from Fenty, this is the Moroccan Spice Palette. Again, it's one that I do really like, and I don't think a lot of people really talk about. But I think it performs really nicely, and I enjoy the looks that I create with it. So we're going to hold on to it. All right, so we have decluttered 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25. I warned you it wasn't going to be great, but I feel good about what I have gone ahead and chosen to part with. So, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time.